Hello, everyone, and thank you, Wolfram and Squid Pro Quo, for your modly duties. You know what, Puddletown, I think you're free to engage with anyone that wants to be in chat. Uh, Good evening, Alice G. I had a really good day today. I got a lot of things done, which is rare for me. Good evening, Christine and Denise and his spirit. Welcome, everyone. So, we have all the crazy stories. And the craziest one I pulled less than 20 minutes ago, but has the scariest headline I think I've read, well, today. So, I mean, that's not news, but a sadistic New York City urologist, Darius Paddock, faces more than 143 lawsuits, exploited more male patients than any predator in history. Holy goodness. And not gonna lie, if he wears a bow tie, he may not be allowed near schools. I'm just throwing that out there. It is a new record of shame. Nearly 150 more male patients are suing convicted, quote unquote, sadistic former top city urologist Darius Paddock, making the case the largest involving male victims, a total of 310, by a single abuser, lawyers say. Quote, Darius Paddock has exploited more male patients than any other predator in history, plaintiff lawyer Anthony T. DePietro told the Post, with new papers saying the doctor abused, quote, what is believed to be thousands of victims and survivors. They're all survivors. Look, he's the gross one. They're all survivors. The sicko doctor's depravity knew no bounds, according to disturbing accounts shared in Manhattan Supreme Court filings Tuesday, with victims ranging from retirees to several minor. Get Lord Chippy. Retirees and minors? You disgusting, gross creepo. Allegedly not adjudicated yet, but I think we can go ahead and say that he has been convicted of some stuff, so I think it's safe to say gross. The things that he would do, he would inject a serum into some victim's male bits to force happy time for prolonged periods, perform enlargements that would lead to disfigurement, conduct cystoscopies. So basically, there's a small camera and a little tube, and that camera has to go up the little tube to be able to see the bladder without anesthesia, and force some patients to get on all fours in humiliating supposed exam. Okay, first patient, I think I'm going to say that'll be a no dog. Also, how many other people have you told to do this that agreed? Because no. I mean, no one else said, I don't care if I have to go out of network. I don't think TRICARE covers this. Now, during some more twisted sessions, Darius would walk around with a pen and would point to parts of the patient's nude body, acting as if he were a professor. Okay, when a urologist pulls out a pen and a notepad and he's going to draw you like, Jack's other French girls, did no one get up out of the stirrups and say, you know what? I'm gonna get a second opinion. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Leave the free counter or calendar you're gonna send me. I'm not coming back. Uh, it is worse than I could have ever imagined, said a mother of one of the latest plaintiffs, a patient of Darius at Whale Cornell Medical Center, in a statement divided by DePietro. Learning of what happened on those visits has nearly killed me. Now, Paddock was arrested in April 2023 and criminally convicted in May of 13 counts of SA in a federal court. He now faces up to 60 years in prison. Sir, I don't know if you know this, but Gen Pop is not going to be nice to you. Now, he worked as a urologist for years at the Walleye Cornell Medical Center, New York Presbyterian Hospital, Columbia University, and Northwell Health Systems, whose prestige aided this doctor in grooming, in basically, telling patients, of course, he's at these prestigious hospitals. They must know about his unusual, making me bray like a donkey for some odd reason while I turn and cough. I am okay with that amendment to procedural standards, and I will allow it. Quote, "Patients trust these so-called top hospitals to provide safe and proper medical care for deeply personal conditions. Patients don't go into a medical office thinking they're going to be exploited by some deviant pervert in a white lab coat," DiPietro said. Now, he said criminal, I added pervert, so it's not exactly a quote, but there you go. Okay, no one said, look, I would have profiled the ever living crap out of this man, and I just said, somewhere there is a school you cannot be within 500 feet of. Am I the only one that sees everyone through Law and Order SVU glasses? Maybe it's just me. At some points, the abuse took place in front of nurses, assistants, and even other physicians. Now, these attacks, under the guise of a necessary medical exam or care, included instructing patients to pleasure themselves in front of him or giving himself a tube in while they did that, often while playing naughty videos. He would sometimes just measure his patients' growth and use phallic-shaped toys on them. Who the hell let this go on? I mean, when he is bringing every single piece and, he's bringing an entire pure romance party up into the hospital, no one's concerned? Like, "Doctor, you were playing Debbie Does Dallas with, room 4, and I don't exactly understand what you were doing there." And he's like, "Nah, it'll be fine." What the actual hell? Now, this is where it gets gross. One heartbreaking patient saw this particular doctor for more than a decade, starting when he was 7 years old. Another victim was 13. I elect Gen Pop justice, no need for anesthesiology, allegedly in Minecraft, Raja Mahand, okay? Don't come after me, Google. One victim said that the doctor squeezed him so hard it was bruised for weeks afterwards. Another plaintiff claimed the doctor prescribed so much needless medicine to him that he went into liver failure. While a 56-year-old patient lay on an exam table, the doctor unzipped his own pants and told the man that he wanted him to see what an erect male member looked like. Now, I'm going to I'm gonna hazard to guess at 56 years old, you have seen one, your own generally. I don't think he needs to see yours, sir. I think they're kind of like, once you get the general idea of what they look like, you don't need like I don't know, a research mission to go out and find more. You're generally not confused about this. How did this man get away with this for so long? This is such an incredibly sick story. And I'm glad that these men actually came forward because I can imagine that, as much as I joke, women's doctor's office appointments generally end up with, your feet in a stirrups and generally humiliating no matter what. But I could imagine that for men whose doctor's appointment generally don't end with them dropping trowel and getting on stirrups, this could be an incredibly deeply uncomfortable story to bring out. And I'm so glad that his survivors, not his victims, his survivors, these men came forward and stopped this. But how in the hell did the hospital let this go on? And who were his attendants? Now, this particular doctor kept practicing medicine until his arrest in 2023, but court papers claim his employers knew of his revolting abuse since 2017. Arrest them too. DiPietro filed an initial civil class action lawsuit against the doctor and his employers, which include all those high and mighty hospitals, last August. While the cases against the Catholic Church and the Boy Scouts of America included more male plaintiffs, more than 82,000 in the Boy Scout class action, those suits were more broadly against institutions and multiple perpetrators. The former disgraced Columbia University OBGYN, Robert Haddon, holds the title for having most SA victims, female ones, who have laid or filed claims against him. He is now serving a 20-year sentence. A 20-year? No, I see I'm going to have to run for president still because that's not a 20-year sentence. That's we're sending you to Mars with or without a spacesuit, depending on how much I care. The one thing that all these places, all these cases have in common is that these individual predators had a billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar corporation that was conspiring with them and helping them cover up the abuse. Absolutely. In July, a judge rejected an offer or an effort by the doctor's lawyers to dismiss and seal DiPietro's massive class action lawsuit. The 143 new victims are not currently part of the class action and have filed individual lawsuits. A rep for Well Cornell said the hospital is, quote, heartbroken for these survivors, and the institution has implemented enhancements to our policies and training requirements and launched a new patient safety program to minimize the risk of such abhorrent conduct occurring in the future. No, you don't need to have a new class. You don't. Again, there were attendants in the room that you obviously did not listen to and or put under the rug. Just get your checkbook out and give these men money. You might need to close your doors, but this is done. Now, well, things are not looking great for New York. Alleged real life Skeksis, Governor Hochul, only allegedly in in my brain, but I swear, look at Governor Hochul versus the Dark Crystal, and you will not be able to tell the difference. Uh, well, her ex-aide and her husband were arrested in a corruption probe after the feds raided her $3.5 million Long Island home. So looks like she's crazy or changing one, you know, joint for another. Ah, the sadness. A former aide to Governor Kathy Hochul was arrested along with her husband Tuesday morning after their Long Island home was raided by the feds earlier this year. Linda Sun and her husband, Christopher Yu, were arrested on Long Island, the FBI confirmed to the Post. The charges are remaining under seal for right now, but Sun and Hugh are set to be arraigned Tuesday afternoon. So this was the latest update of this article, so I'm guessing they haven't unsealed these yet. Law enforcement sources say the arrest was part of a corruption probe unrelated to the governor. Sun was first hired to work in governor's office by then Governor Andrew Cuomo. Sun was fired from her job at the State Department of Labor after evidence of misconduct was discovered. The Post was first to report earlier this year. I mean, evidence of misconduct? I thought that was just like a badge of honor in the government. A $3.5 million home in Mahasset belonging to Sun and Yu was raided by the FBI in July. Yu owned and ran a liquor store in Flushing, Queens, as well as several other business ventures, including an LLC that was involved in medical equipment that popped up around the panorama. Now, sources say Sun has close ties to Queens Democrats, especially Asian American lawmakers. She was an ally and high ranking staffer to the then Assemblywoman Grace Meng before Meng was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. And y'all, tell me I am lying. This woman is a Skeksis, okay? Just with brighter makeup. No, Kathy, continue wearing the frosted blue eyeshadow. It does not age you one bit. The 80s are coming back. keep the shoulder pads too. Now, among Sun's responsibilities in the Cuomo administration was serving as a liaison for Asian American affairs. Sun also worked at Empire State Development in a role that involved creating ties with businesses and coordinating trade missions, according to her LinkedIn profile. Sources said her profile focused on South and East Asian countries, including China. Albany insiders have speculated how Sun and her husband could have afforded the $3.5 million Mahasset home. According to state payroll records, Sun made $152,217 during her last full year working for the Department of Labor. Well, there you go. It it's definitely very Mimi-esque. She is being accused of being a spy, but I haven't since they haven't unsealed what she's actually being charged with, I didn't wanna put that out there, just in case she gets mad at me for some reason. I try to only put out what I know. Now, this is the time where we all accept our collective guilt and how we couldn't have supported the acolyte. The, most alphabet A, B, C, D, element of QP, show ever, The Acolyte. The gayest Star Wars ever actress blames conservatives for the cancellation of the show. Not, the writing, the terrible concept, her terrible wooden acting. Now, Amandla, sweetheart, if you're gonna play in what is a space essentially science fiction, The Parent Trap, you have to make these twin girls have distinct and understandably, separate personalities, but since you have the acting range of Toast, no one cares. No, she's not Chewbacca's daughter. Puddletown, it gets even worse than that. She and her twin sister, so one was named Osha and one was named May, were born of lesbian communist space wishes. They had no father. They were born of the thread. I shit you not, y'all are my favorite turds, and we wonder why this show was canceled. Now, Amandla, instead of taking a really good close look in a mirror and maybe wondering what I've done wrong, would like you all to think deeply about how you have hurt Star Wars. So let's continue. The Acolyte star Amandla Steinberg has blamed conservatives for the cancellation of her show, which she advocated as the quote unquote gayest Star Wars ever. In an Instagram story, Steinberg said she appreciated the fan of the show. The fan. One. Let's be real. Maybe five of them. They're all the same account with a sock puppet or something. Uh, she blamed what is convenient for Disney as a marketing, ploy to undergird their sense of self-importance and artiste, but not blame themselves, was a targeted and bigoted, campaign from the alt-right to review bomb their show. Quote, "I'm going to be transparent and say it's not a huge shock for me. Amandla, have you seen yourself act? This might be the first point of self-reflection you've had." Steinberg said in the video per Variety, "There's been a rampage of vitriol that we have faced since the show even started. And it was just a concept and no one had ever seen it. And that's when we started experiencing a rampage of what I would say were hyper conservative bigotry, vitriol, prejudice, hatred, and hateful language toward us." End quote. Or maybe it's the fact that you decided to show everyone your clam bake region as you were gyrating and telling everyone that you don't care about their discourse, and making pale people like me cry was generally your life goal. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not an expertologist on Hollywood, so who knows? Now, this show was abysmal. I do not recommend anyone watch this, but it definitely had the message. I mean, the Jedi are bad, the weird morality where the bad guys have good intentions. I did. I did in fact make her cry personally. because I haven't watched a real Star Wars, after The Last Jedi because none of them have been even canonically linked to what I used to love. So, there you go, Amandla Steinberg and, Leslie Headland. Let's not forget Leslie Headland, the assistant who led young starlets to Harvey Weinstein on an ever and perpetual, like, conveyor belt, uh, would like you to remember that mean words hurt. And of course, it wasn't their fault. They're two women, and it's the year 2024, Hollywood. So they're not going to take any self reflective time. And it's your fault. So I would encourage all of you, if you have time today before you go to bed and you wish to do something good for the world, remember how you've hurt Star Wars today. I mean, what a self important twat. I'm sorry. I am a deeply unserious person on the internet, but if I had done something egregious, and believe me, I am still working on the edit of the Ballad of Man Bun, so I could, in fact, turn out something that rivals talent wise The Acolyte. But if everyone says it's terrible, I would say, Mo, maybe you need to work on your skills. This is not your strong suit. I would generally internalize that as, "How could I do better?" Not, "Let me explain to you all how wrong you are." So, now in, odd news, and I can't quite figure this out, Elle Macpherson has revealed that she got a shocking breast cancer diagnosis, but refused chemotherapy from 32 doctors. It was unexpected. Okay, so how did you take care of the cancer? Elle Macpherson has revealed that she was diagnosed with breast cancer 7 years ago and is now finally in remission. The supermodel, 60 years old, said she refused to undergo chemotherapy treatment. Okay, despite it being strongly recommended by 32 doctors. In her upcoming memoir, Elle, Life Lessons and Learning to Trust Yourself, dear ma'am, you almost just said live, laugh, love. I mean, Elle Macpherson, you're not basic. Please, dear God, why did you write or why did you title your book, something so basic? Anywho, the Aussie catwalk star said she took an entirely holistic approach to her diagnosis. Why am I suddenly hearing, well, past the Doce Pon the left-hand side, why am I hearing that song right now? She obviously went on a lot of peyote walks, allegedly in Minecraft. I am just joking. She's like, no, I'm smoking the devil's lettuce. It's all natural. That is true, squid pro quo. I guess I was wondering what she was doing, and now that she said she got a lumpectomy, but I was Chris, how dare you? I'm already hungry for Welsh were rabbit or rarebit, and you keep bringing it up, and I can't make my own bread fast enough. Following a lumpectomy 7 years ago, the Well co founder was diagnosed with HER2 positive estrogen receptive intraductal carcinoma, a type of breast cancer that is characterized by a higher level of protein that can help breast cells multiply quickly. Now, she said that she was in shock and it was unexpected and confusing. It was daunting in so many ways. It really gave me an opportunity to dig deep into my inner sense to find a solution that worked for me, McPherson told Women's Weekly about her diagnosis. Her doctors recommended undergoing a mastectomy with radiation chemotherapy and hormone therapy and the reconstructed construction of her breast. However, she was not interested in undergoing chemo. Instead, she wanted to try out an intuitive, heart-led, holistic approach. Interesting. The model explained that going against doctors' advice was a wonderful exercise in being true to herself, and trusting the nature of her body and the course of action she had chosen. Okay, to be fair, if my body looked exactly like Elle Macpherson's, I would probably, say, "Hey, my body is awesome." I'm gonna let it do its thing. Saying no to standard medical solutions was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but saying no to my own inner selves would have been harder, she said, adding that chemo and surgery sounded too extreme. Admitting that to people thought she was crazy, McPherson said her chosen treatment plan resonated with her and allowed her to address emotional as well as physical factors associated with breast cancer. The model who appeared on Friends in 1999 said she rented a house in Phoenix, Arizona, where she holistically treated her cancer. She said the experience allowed her to focus and devote every single minute to healing herself. Dr. Martin Skur, a retired UK physician, has doubts about McPherson's holistic approach. He said that alternative therapies such as exercise, sufficient sleep, stress reduction, and a diet that enhances good bacteria in the gut are meant to complement orthodox cancer treatments. What worries me is that L will be seen as an example of a way forward for treating cancer. Skur wrote Tuesday in the Daily Mail. And yet, while there is 7 years since she was diagnosed, we would be wrong not to be cautious. The story is not over yet. While McPherson says she's in quote unquote clinical remission, her sons Finn, 26, and Cy, 21, had mixed reactions about her decisions to go against medical advice. Cy simply thought that chemo kills you, and so he never wanted me to do it because he thought that was the kiss of death. Where Finn, being more conventional, wasn't comfortable with my choice at all. He is my son, though, and would support me through anything and love me through my choices, even if he didn't agree with me. So there you go. Um, I'm I think that there is a way that we should be addressing the body as a whole. I wish that we had more access to doctors of osteopath, which look at the body more as an entire unit instead of pieced out in these different specialities. I wish that we would think more about our diets and things like that, but I'm not ready to say, no, doctors, I'm good. It'll be okay. So, if there could be a happy medium that doesn't require me to eat kale, or at least will put kale in pill forms, I'm kind of okay with all of that. And it's Elle Macpherson. She can do whatever the hell she wants. They're your boobs, ma'am. Do whatever makes you happy. Um, guys, this is just not going to be a great episode for you male members of the show. I use that term. I didn't mean pun intended, but I do mean pun intended now. Quote, stinging sensation in his groin area. Vegas hotel employees laughed at a man after a scorpion struck as he slept, a lawsuit says. Um, yeah, it is just not a good day to be a peen. I am so glad that you are doing better, Peter A. That is incredibly good to hear, and I don't know that I could go through anything like that, but I am glad you're here with us today and doing okay. A California man has sued a Las Vegas hotel after an unwelcome guest visit hit him in bed. Michael Farici, 62, said in a lawsuit obtained by Vegas NBC affiliate KSV or NV that he and his wife were sleeping in a bed December 26th at the Palazzo, a Venetian hotel, when he woke up to a sharp stinging sensation in his groin area. I am not mature enough for this. He reached down and felt more stings on his hand. The lawsuit filed last week in Clark County District Court reportedly said. Now, Faraci called the hotel's front desk, but the employees who came to the room merely laughed at him, according to the lawsuit. Note to hotels: I'm just saying, if you get a call like this, do not send to me. Do not send me. I will not be able to maintain professional composure. Just do not send me. One of Faraci's attorney, Brian Varig of the My bedbug lawyer law firm told CBS affiliate KLAS that the suit made a claim for the loss of consortium, which means that the incident has impacted Faraci's smexy time with his wife. The lawsuit reportedly said the hotel's duty of care is to provide a sanitary room free of vermin, bedbugs, or similar things, including scorpions. Virig also alleges that the hotel had prior issues with scorpions due to construction nearby. Virig shared photos with Law and Crime that showed the scorpion hanging off of Faraci's underpants. Well, at least he has nice Reeboks. Squid pro quo, it is a dangly bits intensive episode tonight. As Law and Crime previously reported, Farici told KLAS that it felt like someone was stabbing him with a piece of glass or a knife, and he ran to the bathroom and undressed to see an orange scorpion hanging off of his Reeboks boxers. Farici said the not very nice scorpion stung him at least 3 or 4 times. Nobody staying in Vegas needs to be exposed to deadly scorpions while they're sleeping, let alone on their private parts or their testicles. This is a quote. Virig, who's also known for suing hotel and apartment complex owners with bedbug infestations, previously said in an interview with Los Angeles affiliate KABC. Virig told Daily Beast that hotel staffers were very dismissive and unapologetic as they comped the room for the night. Well, they did comp his room. Farici and his family checked out of the hotel the next day. According to the Mayo Clinic, scorpion stings are painful but rarely life threatening. Okay, but how about on the smesticles? Okay, because I don't know that we generally have test subjects for that. Now, bark scorpions, which typically range in length from 1.6 to 3 inches, I could make a joke, but I'm going to be kind because this has been a schmeckle abuse stream. It can cause pain, tingling, and numbness at the stinging site, according to the Seattle Children's Hospital. How does Seattle Children's Hospital have a lot of experience with scorpions? I didn't know that scorpions hung out in Seattle, but okay. The hotel released the following statement to media outlets. Quote, "The resort has protocols for all incidents, and we can confirm they were followed in this incident. Pointing and laughing is just a fun side gig for our maids. We don't pay them a lot." I added that last bit, but it seemed more honest. In more serious news, 3 passengers are missing after a speedboat crashed into a Connecticut river break wall. And from what I have seen when I looked for an update to this story, I don't believe they have found them at all yet. Uh, a search is underway for 3 passengers that went missing after a speedboat crashed into the Connecticut River uh, on Monday night. The vessel was carrying 9 peoples when it smashed into the Old Saybrook breakwall. WFSB reported, citing Coast Guard officials. 6 passengers were rescued and taken to local hospitals. Their conditions are unknown. Responders are continuing to search for 3 other passengers who are not wearing life jackets at the time of the crash. Resources from the Coast Guard stations in New London and Cape Cod have been deployed to assist in search efforts. So hopefully they find them, or at least can find the bodies to return them and give them back to the families. Uh, well, considering that hotels might have scorpions, it's not so bad that America's massive hotel strike just got even bigger. Baltimore hotel workers are joining a massive nationwide strike against three major chains during one of the biggest holiday weekends of the year. Unite Here, the union representing hotel workers, said approximately 200 hotel workers walked off the job in Baltimore at the Hilton Inner Harbor this morning. Hotel union workers are now on strike at hotels across 9 U.S. cities. As many as 10,200 hotel workers at 25 hotels stretching from Boston to the West Coast to Hawaii went on strike starting early Sunday morning, but as planned, 840 went back to work Tuesday. Quote, I walked out today because we just can't keep working paycheck to paycheck, not being able to pay our bills. Jerome Roberts, a dishwasher at the Hilton Baltimore Inner Harbor, said in a statement. Going on strike is hard, but not nearly as hard as trying to get by on what we're getting paid. We told the bosses in our negotiations how much we are struggling right now, but they didn't care. We're on strike to make them pay. Workers said they want higher pay, better conditions, and more staff to help. The union is asking for a restoration of many of the panorama era cuts that hotels made, including daily room cleaning. The union says travel and hotel industries have recovered from the pandemic, but worker salaries have not reflected the comeback. The hotels are reportedly still open, but guests are contending with skeleton staff unable to provide full services. We're on strike because the hotel industry has gotten off of track. Gwen Mills, international president of Unite Here, said in a statement Sunday morning. During the pandemic, everyone suffered, but now the hotel industry is making record profits while workers and guests are left behind. Too many hotels still haven't restored standard services that guests deserve, and workers aren't making enough to support their families. Many can no longer afford to live in the cities that they welcome guests to. Hotel chains facing striking workers include Hilton, Hyatt, and Marriott. The hotels have more than 23,776 rooms between them in the cities of Baltimore, Boston, San Diego, San Francisco, San Jose, Seattle, as well as Honolulu and Kauai in Hawaii and Greenwich, Connecticut, according to the union. The union is threatening to possibly expand the strike to as many as 65 hotels in 12 different cities, possibly adding hotels in Oakland, California, as well as Providence, Rhode Island, and New Haven, Connecticut. Spokespeople for the Hilton and Hyatt told CNN on Friday that they were committed to reaching deals with the union, but they will also continue to serve customers during any work stoppage. Hyatt said in a statement it's disappointed by the union's decision to strike. We look forward to continuing to negotiate fair contracts and recognize the contribution of Hyatt employees, Michael D'Angelo, head of labor relations at Hyatt, said. Last year, 15,000 members of the same union went on strike during the weekend of 4th of July at 65 hotels in Los Angeles and Orange counties in Southern California. They returned to work a few days later, but staged a series of rolling strikes in the months that followed, sometimes tied to major tourist periods, such as the weekend of Taylor Swift concerts in Los Angeles. These strikes are set to end after 3 days. So there you go. No idea, other than making wonderful Kraft macaroni and cheese. Um, in what can only be, no one thought that this was going to happen. You take wild animals who are still wild animals and you put them in a circus, they're still wild animals. Circus performance goes horribly wrong when triggered bear mauls trainer. The bear was not triggered. He was simply being a bear. This is why God generally told us don't play with bears. Like, leave them alone in the forest. Uh, but he did snap in front of, well, all of the circus. And I don't think I can show the video because, YouTube kind of gets mad when you show bear attacks. Sergey Prinichinch, A Russian circus trainer almost lost his life during a live performance with a female brown bear named Donut. Did you give her a donut before? I mean, the audience was filled with horrified parents and children watching the show go disastrously wrong. Towards the end of the act, the bear snapped at Sergei and wrestled with him. Nikita Mikhailov, head of the Moriarty Circus, told reporters after the incident. Their performance continued. I mean, it was a little unscripted, it was a little more ER and, well, Jurassic Park than we wanted, but, The bear, weighing over 490 pounds, was riding a hoverboard during her skit when she suddenly snapped at the trainer, possibly because she had to ride a hoverboard. Hoverboards were not meant for us fluffy-ish people. Within seconds, the trainer was pinned to the ground for about a half a minute until the worker outside the cage managed to poke the bear long enough. You know, that is actually a statement of a sort of idiom, like, "Don't poke the bear," because it's generally just not a good idea, but his pit crew back here is like, "Get the poking stick. Get the poking stick." This can't be real life. I don't even know where but they were able to poke the bear long enough for the trainer to land back on his feet. It seems that he's okay, smiling, terrifiedly for everyone. Now, despite that petrifying moment, the trainer continued with, the show as if his life wasn't in danger. Now, he did wait for the bear to calm down, got up, and continued with the routine with her, even giving her a kiss at the end. I think I understand why women live longer. The bear can be seen tackling the trainer and swatting him as he desperately tries to keep the beast at bay, holding a bar between the animal's maw and himself, as one does. However, once the employee outside the cage jabbed the bear, she eased up and left the trainer alone. Sir, with the poking stick, your ass is getting mauled later. This bear is not gonna forget. She's like, "First of all, I have to ride a freaking hoverboard, but second of all, Pokey Stick Man, Imma member you. Imma member you. Wait till you drop your guard just one day. Imma." She's like, poke me one more again." This is an animal, and they behave differently. They may not like something. They express their emotions this way. I mean, who else doesn't use a little light mauling to explain their feelings? Every trainer understands this. This man is so incredibly lackadaisical about this. Now, Mikhailov's team was elated that the situation didn't turn into a full-on mauling. However, Russian animal rights campaigners led by Yuri Korstich, called for a ban on live animal performances. While modern world circus art is rapidly moving towards humanity and banning the use of animals in circuses, Russian circus lobby is actively resisting progress and defending its commercial interests. Animal rights have been a major issue in Russia, which led Russian President Vladimir Putin to sign a bill banning animal cruelty in 2016. The law doesn't cover animal performers, though, which still remain a focus for activists. However, the Russian body governing circus animals have proposed a bill that would slowly phase out performing animals in circuses. So there you go. I don't know what to say to that. And happy news for everyone, at least a happy story for something. A beloved candy is returning to the market after 14 years of being discontinued. Altoids sours are going to be back. This might be the happiest day of my life. Fans were sour when this sweet was taken off the shelves, but now it's returning to market more than a decade after being discontinued. Well, I was gonna say, thank God it's not a crotchular story, but I was just gonna go with, thank God they're bringing Altoids back. Altoids sours first went on sale back in 2001 before being nixed 9 years later. Since 2010, desperate fans have started multiple change.org petitions to beg for the candy to be brought back. Now they've finally succeeded, but there is a catch. The sweets will only be on sale at Cracker Barrel's Old Country store and will be sold under a different name. What? Every location of the popular Southern food restaurant has a store attached full of nostalgic accessories and snacks. Snackalator claimed that the candies will not be made by Altoid. Okay, then what's the point? Accounting for the name change. They're reportedly going to be made by a third party company called Iconic Candy, a family owned and operated candy company that specializes in bringing back discontinued favorites. Okay. Jude, I will keep that in mind. Let's see. Though the rival will use the same original recipe, the candy will now be known as retro sours. Yeah. Customers can expect to find mango, tangerine, and citrus. Altoid sour lovers are extremely ecstatic about the news, commenting that they can't wait until they're back. So there you go. I'm partial to the mango one, but there you are. We will get Altoids back. Congratulations. Uh, in what I can only say must be a gift from the gods, this Tesla truck can cook a pizza in under 2 minutes. I mean, why? It gets it done like nobody's business. I am all confused, but that's generally normal for me. A popular thin crust pizzeria in northern Jersey has taken food truck culture to the next level by outfitting a pair of Tesla Cybertrucks with two-tier ovens to fire pies on the go. And they certainly take that in the fast lane. Food trucks have long claimed parking spots on the nation's culinary scene, but never like this. Quote, she's quick and fast, and it has enough power to cook a pizza in about 2 minutes. Fabio Antonio Alvarez, a longtime partner with Montville's Columbia Inn restaurant, told the Post about the electric vehicle's remarkable culinary pep. Fresh handmade pizzas, not frozen, are cooked at lightning speed atop the truck thanks to a conveyor belt and a highly powered oven that toast the treats at a sizzling 600 degrees as they pass through the machine. Electric vehicles have more than enough power to handle them, he added. Alrighty. They repurposed Elon Musk's hard angled, controversial vehicle by mounting them with double stacked roasters that run on the cargo bed's 240-volt outlet. The 25-year-old pizza veteran claims the mashup, the matte black trucks are emblazoned with signs that read Jersey Thin Crust Pizza, is the first of its kind in America. People are shocked enough to see a Cybertruck in public, then they're even more blown away by the pizza. He has since earned the nickname Mr. Tesla for reportedly being one of the first in his area to purchase an electric vehicle. You got a lot of reactions to the truck, about 70% good. And as for the other 30%, no one seems to be dissing the food. It's just clunky, the Tron evoking vessel. I don't get the Cybertrucks. I think they are the ugliest thing ever, but hey, if it's your jam, look, this is coming from a chick who loves PT Cruisers. I have no taste in cars. I don't like the Tesla, or the Cybertruck, but if it's your jam, it's your jam. And I guess these are what the pizza ovens look like. I don't understand. They are even going viral for a stop at Barstool Sports' Midtown office in early August. The two Cybertrucks were acquired last winter to deal with elevated catering demand from the restaurant's conventional food truck. Since then, when firing on all cylinders, or rather batteries, the electric vehicles can together produce a whopping 120 pies an hour, either regular or personal sized. The ovens can toast away for 8 hours at a time, and he still can drive about 50 miles after that battery drain. Well, there you go. The biggest challenge, which wasn't even attaching the approximately 50 by 40-inch ovens, which each weigh more than 200 pounds, it was getting the cookers and ingredients into a space that was easy to access. We custom built a slide for the oven so that when we park, we can pull it out. Uh, the Cybertruck's tow hitch also supports 50-foot umbrellas to cover the workstation. There you are. So if you'd like to have a pizza cooked out of the back of a truck, which doesn't sound shady or like a possible way to get, I don't know, norovirus, go over to New Jersey. You can. And in our final story, he's trying it again, and this time he will succeed. The swimmer known as the Shark is going to try again to cross Lake Michigan. He swims with his own boat? He doesn't have, like, a ride-along boat of people to tell him where he's going? An ultra swimmer is trying again to cross Lake Michigan from Michigan to Wisconsin just a few weeks after trouble with a GPS device forced him to give up after 60 miles. Jim Dreyer set out after 6 p.m. Monday in Grand Haven. He's turning a wide cover up to 80 miles or so without sleep. Dreyer always doing a inflatable load with supplies. Boats are allowed to this open water. He's posting here again a 97 ballot, but his progress can track time. Drowned himself the shark crossed Lake Michigan in 1998, starting in Two Rivers, Wisconsin, and finishing in Ludington, Michigan. But 3 attempts to do it again have all been successful since 2023. His last effort began on August the 6th. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with this. Maybe I need a new cord for this thing as well. Who knows? Is it working? We good? My ability to fix things. I'm like, unplug, replug. Now, as I reported, I think maybe a week ago or a month ago, he did try to this a couple of weeks ago, but his GPS device was not working. So he kept just swimming every which way. Now, he only had a compass to guide him, and apparently he's about as good with a compass as I am. So he is trying again now. Hopefully, he makes it and is still alive. I don't know. There might be snapping turtles in the lake. I would not do that. Hell, I'd be afraid of Jaws at this point. It is 2024. There may be a great white in the Great Lakes. I mean, I put nothing past 2024. But that is the Newsy News. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for the sorry my male viewers. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day for all stories involving, well, the jungular area. I will see you guys in the morning, and don't forget that we have court and cross stitch tomorrow. We will be on part 5 of Michigan versus Michael Jackson Blano, and I am going to let you guys go because the boys are getting ready to get candy, so quietness is not an option. Bye, guys.